the thought process going into the first Doug Ford budget for many people was something where we'd see tons of cuts, lots of benefits for the wealthy and corporations. And I think people went into that with reasonable expectations. However, what they got was something a little bit different. There were definitely a balance of things in there, and I'm just curious with what you saw. We're seeing a 4 to 5 year payoff for the debt. Is that realistic? Is that something that's something that, without too much pain over the long term, we can hit?
Yeah, I think what you're seeing is a balanced approach to it. We've taken the approach that there's a number of things that are very important to people in Ontario, and we need to make sure that those services exist as we move forward. You can't cut services. You have to provide the people of Ontario with what they're expecting from us. We're having a deficit. I freely admit it. We have a deficit of $10.3 billion. That's what we're projecting. It's down from about 15 from what we were projecting in June. That actually came down to about 11.7.
And what's the current debt number, the overall?
$243 billion. Okay. The deficit amount gets added on to that, so it actually will go up. We're paying, last year we paid about $12.2 billion in interest. In the coming year, it's about $13.5 billion. As debt matures, then we have to re-borrow, and we're borrowing at a higher interest rate. We're going to see a little bit of an increase in the interest payments over the next 2 years, and then it starts to decline after that. And that's all based on how the debt matures and so on. We're not surprised by that. What I think that most people are surprised by, though, is we didn't go in and do that cut and slash and burn and knock everything out. We're trying to do it in a very responsible way. 5 years for us to get back to balance, and then we'll be able to be in a position where we can start to pay things down. Really what we're doing is we're projecting over the next 5 years what the economy is going to be like. We suspect, based on historical trends, that we'll be entering a recession in the next 18 months to 2 years. I actually think it'll be a little bit sooner than that. And we're trying to do things that positions Ontario so that we can protect ourselves against that recession. We need to make sure that our social safety network is there in place and well funded, so that if a recession hits and if we do need to provide extra help, we have the ability to do it. Our debt to GDP ratio will remain over 40% for the next 2 years, and then it will start to go down. And it goes down because we're investing in jobs. We're trying to build the economy, and you're going to see our gross domestic product, the amount of money that flows through Ontario, increase. That's the approach that we've taken. There's been some conversation about cutting income tax for businesses. If we cut business income tax, it doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to invest. So what we've done instead is we've changed the capital cost allocation. Now, if you want that tax benefit, you have to invest in your business. If you invest in the business by updating the equipment, you can write the equipment off in 2 years instead of 10 years on the old system. That is going to help spur the economy on. That is going to get people back to work because industry is investing in its business. That's the approach that we're taking, and we think it's a responsible way of going.